Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole LaShawn, and today we're going to talk about some health tips for women over 40. So, first of all, if you're a woman over 40, can we just take a moment just to celebrate? Can we just celebrate for a moment that we made it? Girl, we made it. I don't know about you, but I can definitely tell you that for me, there were times, there were moments. I, I wasn't confident, I wasn't sure, but getting to the other side of 40 is a blessing, and I am so excited to be here and welcome. So, before I get into these few health tips that I have to share with you, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that we now understand that a lot of the things that have a direct impact on our health are not in our control. They're called social determinants of health. And they have to do with our economic status, the zip code in which we live, the access to resources that we have, and sometimes the healthcare providers that we are exposed to and whether or not they are willing to acknowledge and validate the concerns that we have. So, if you are a woman who is not in the best of health at this moment, let me just say that you are more than your health. You're very welcome here. And I hope that we can all together create a dialogue to improve our overall health and well-being and a supportive community for each other. So let's get into some of these health tips. I've never been one to necessarily give personal advice on health because I definitely have recognized that sometimes our health is out of our control. You know, there are certain things that we are not in control of as it relates to our health. But I also realize the value in doing the things that we can do to contribute positively to our overall health and well-being. And so I'd like to just take a moment to share with you some of the things that I have found to contribute to my overall health throughout this journey, and with where I'm at this stage in the game. So number one of the big health tips that I have for women over 40 is to prioritize your sleep. It is so essential that we are getting enough rest. And this is definitely something that has been well researched and evidence based. And many of us at this stage in the game are able to recognize when we haven't had sufficient sleep, and we readily recognize the immediate impacts. Couple of the things that we know about sleep is that when you don't have enough sleep, you don't have the ability to memorize, to think logically, or you don't even you tend not to make as healthy decisions as it relates to your food, and you tend to crave more unhealthy snacks and do less meal planning. So it is just essential for our overall health that we're prioritizing sleep, because things will fall into place more readily if we are prioritizing our sleep. For me, that means 8 to 9 hours, and I know that at times people are a little bit different with regard to how much their body needs. But if you're not sure where your optimal level of sleep is, I would say try to start with at least 8 hours a night. You can certainly journal to kind of figure out where you're feeling the days you're feeling the most healthy and when you wake up the most refreshed. And you'll begin to kind of discover and see the impact and what role sleep has on your overall health and well-being. One of the things that I know that I've learned over the years is that no matter what my health and wellness or fitness goals are, for me, it's never worth it to do it at the expense of losing sleep. So if I have a goal, whether it be losing weight, toning up, just feeling good and getting to the gym more regularly, for my own mental health, I'd never do it at the expense of sleep. So I've done the 4 a.m. wake ups, the 5 a.m. wake ups, over various seasons over the course of this journey of my life. And I've come to the conclusion that if ever I want to make gains, if ever I have a fitness or health or wellness goal, that it will never come at the expense of my sleep, because I just don't make progress. It's not even worth it. The second health tip that I have for women over 40 is to trade out sugary drinks for water. I'm not that great at drinking water, to be honest. But what I will say is I don't really drink very much in the way of sugary drinks. If I'm going to drink something, it tends to be water. And I found that for me overall, that has been beneficial to my health. I feel better. I feel more balanced. I'm not getting unnecessary calories, empty calories. I'm not getting unnecessary sugar into my diet. I mean, one beverage, sugary beverage, even the little treat from Starbucks can easily be the equivalent calories of a full meal, 500, 600, 700, 800 calories. And so for me, it's just not worth it to expend my calories in that way. I really want to eat my 700 calories just because I feel more satisfied in that way. And so drinking water is definitely a good thing to optimize your health. Next, I would say is avoiding processed foods or limiting processed foods. And I recognize that not everybody has the ability to or the access to whole and fresh produce. But if you do have access and you do have that opportunity to decide whether you're going to get processed foods versus whole foods, I have definitely seen and felt and am convinced of the benefit of having whole, healthy foods as opposed to processed foods, especially in terms of being healthy overall. I definitely have noticed that I tend to retain more belly fat, and it's more difficult to lose weight when I'm eating more processed foods as opposed to when I'm eating healthy whole foods. So I don't think that's probably new to anyone, but I've definitely seen the result of that firsthand in my own journey and in my own health status. The next one is to limit sugar intake, which I have struggled with on and off in the past. But what I will say is that for me, what I've discovered is that the more that I eat sugar, the more that I crave sugar. And I always have to consistently work at ensuring that I am not incorporating sugar in my diet or in my diet on a regular basis or a daily basis, because sometimes I can get into a habit. Like if I eat a chocolate bar one day, the next day at that same time, my body begins to crave that chocolate bar. And before I know it, 2 weeks has gone by and I'm eating a chocolate bar every day. And so if you're having sugar cravings, at least for me, one of the things that I found can be helpful is to start to replace that with fruit and then, break the addiction. But not to say that you can't have something sweet every once in a while. I'm not one to want to tell people to not have a certain thing, because for me, I feel like my body almost craves it more when I say that it's off limits, or when I say that I can never have it. Somehow, if I tell myself that I'm taking a break from it and I can go back to it later, it's easier for me to put that aside, and then eventually I don't even want it anymore. So but for me, yeah, if I'm eating sugar on a regular basis, I've noticed that for me, I tend to retain more belly fat too. So, which I prefer not to deal with. I mean, when it comes, it comes. But if I'm ready to work on it, which I'm not always ready to work on it, then for me, that's one of the things I have to do is look at my sugar intake and cut out all the excess sugar. The next health tip that I have is to listen to your body. I have incorporated listening to my body, especially over these last few years, and trusting my body to tell me what it needs more so than listening to everyone else. I think one of the challenges about YouTube and about social media is there's so much information out there that it's easy to try and replicate the things that you see other people doing for their health. But one of the things that I have discovered over these last several years is that my body's specific needs may not be your body's specific needs, and it's best for me to listen to what my body needs or what it requires, rather than to deprive it of certain things or try and force certain things that my body is not really willing to accept. I make more progress if I'm willing to listen to my body and work in harmony with my body rather than to work against it. So that may include the types of foods that I'm eating. That may include rest. I think that's really, really one of the things that I've really begun to listen to my body, is that when my body needs rest or when my body needs more sleep, that I am willing to give it what it needs rather than to deprive it of what it needs. So I may have scheduled myself to be at the gym, to hit it hard for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. But if I get going that day and rather than going to the gym, my body says, no, you need to rest today. I'm definitely now more willing to go ahead and allow my body to rest and listen to my body. The next health tip that I would say that has benefited me is to incorporate stretching or yoga into my routine, my workout routines. So I have found, I thought I was a really, really flexible. I thought I was a really flexible person. Nobody could have told me I wasn't flexible. But I discovered I wasn't as flexible as I thought when I started to try and work on doing some yoga. And girl, I discovered my hips were really, really tight. I discovered that I was walking around with tension in my shoulders and in my upper back, and I wasn't even aware of this. Actually, a personal trainer had pointed out to me that I kept my shoulders up. So my shoulders weren't even relaxed. And now that I'm more aware of it, I realize that my body really needs that on a regular basis. Just working out causes your muscles to be tense. Stress causes your muscles to be tense. Walking around all day causes your muscles to be tense. And so incorporating stretching or incorporating something like yoga is so beneficial, not only for the body, but I think for the mind and the spirit as well. One of the people that I have really enjoyed over this last year and a half is, she's a YouTuber. Her name is Ariana Elizabeth. I really appreciate the content that she puts out. She puts a tremendous amount of work into her yoga routines, and I have found that she is one of the, and I'm not very well versed in yoga, but being a beginner, I have found that her content is very accessible, easy to understand. I'm able to feel like I can do what is necessary. And one of the things that I really appreciate is that she always encourages you to to listen to your body as well, to do what your body feels like it should do, and not necessarily saying this is a posture, force your body into this posture, because the body is going to vary, sometimes even day by day, for how flexible you are and what poses that you can get in. So listening to your body is key. I would also say that for the final health tip for today is to relax, have fun, and celebrate. We're not waiting for a birthday. We're not waiting for an anniversary. We celebrating today and every day because life is a gift. And I don't need an excuse to celebrate anymore. Like, I'm celebrating today. So lately, I've just been having fun with like not putting off certain things, like wearing my favorite jewelry, wearing my favorite outfits. I may have somewhere to go. I may not have anywhere to go, but I'm going to celebrate, wear the things that I love wearing, put on the jewelry I love wearing, just because we want to have fun. We want to enjoy this life. We don't want to put things off. So those are the tips that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. In my next video, I think I may talk about why I don't diet and what I do instead of dieting. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Or if you have some health tips that you want to share with us or with me, things that have worked for you, can you drop it in the comments and let me know, let us know. Let's start a dialogue. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.